All right. Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. There it goes. So we're back with some more Roadwarden. Sorry I missed yesterday. I had a heck of a time. I had a Razer Death Adder V2 mouse. I actually really liked that mouse. It was, got it almost 4 years ago, exactly. So luckily I had a protection plan on it, which is phenomenal. I just wanted a mouse that had optical switches because at the time the mechanical switches that were being used in mice had potential like double click issues where you click in and it started to get worn down, and especially around humidity or just moisture in general, it started to develop a double click. So you'd click once and it would register as 2 clicks, or like you'd click and hold and it wouldn't actually keep the signal held down. So it would like click once, count as a double click, and then like just fade out. It was really bad. So I really like that mouse. I got it's a Basilisk V3 coming in. We'll see how that goes. Protection plan. Was a little bit less expensive. It's actually on sale. So I got it and another protection plan actually for 4 years on it. And part of a little cat toy for Jenkins coming in on Friday. Yeah, the return from the protection plan covered it all. So I know some people have bad luck with plans, but I don't know, it's super easy. I had the gift card in the email before, well, end of day yesterday, and I just sent it out, so they don't even have the mouse yet. I could have put rocks in the box for all they know. Obviously I didn't, but so yeah, we're using an old mouse. Obviously it works as a backup, but yeah, so hopefully get the new one on Friday. So we are back in Hellersdale. We were talking with the mayor. Last time we talked to her, and for some reason a conversation option that I'd chosen before the first time I was here actually progressed further, and I'm not sure what triggered it, if I missed something the first time around, but now I feel like I've opened up an entirely new part of the game. So the mayor wants me to basically spy, not in so many words, but she wants me to spy on the other settlements. But I feel like I kind of hit like a phase 2. I will see if it actually progresses any further. But yeah, so she's asking me questions. Anything you want to share? So I'm going to talk about the soldiers that you first encounter when you start the game, and yeah, go from there. See, I knew that deep down you're a true sage. She titters and straightens up, adjusting her cape without haste. Do you have something to share? The squad that made camp at the southern crossroads is now nothing more than 2 people. They plan to return to Hobbit before fall. Since they cleared that camp of brigands, they went so quiet I almost forgot about them. She rubs her chin with her thumb. I'm surprised they managed to stay alive till this day. Sending such an inexperienced group here shows that the officials misjudged this land. The soldiers who came here in the spring were meant to find a good spot for a new outpost. She smiles widely. You don't say. Knowing that, I'll prepare a few very tempting suggestions for the officials. After she seals her lips, she still lets out a quiet chuckle. That's all I have to say. She leans forward, and even though she smiles, her voice is close to a whisper. I wonder, why are you here? What pushes someone to becoming a Roadwarden? Yeah, see, I feel like I already started this conversation with her, and she just wasn't even really interested in progressing it. I'll use the coins to retire early, in prosperity and safety. Ah, the life of white bread and mead. Though even the richest city folk invest in work one way or another. You can't eat coins. You catch a hint of mockery in her titter. And you need more than a lock to protect yourself from envy and greed. For a moment, she observes your palfrey. Maybe move to a village? It's easier to keep thieves away. Okay. I show her the troll bone tablet. Could you tell me what's in here? Pretty! She taps on the carving of the back. You sure you don't want to leave it with Akakikos for a few bones? She glances at the letters, then puts the tablet on the table. It's just some farewell letter, written to Valens. His husband says he couldn't stand this nightmarish village, and then he met someone else during his hunting trip. It ends with, "We will start a new family. Goodbye." No signature. Oh, that's depressing. Do you need my assistance? First, yeah, see, this is basically where I ended before. First, I need to be sure you can handle yourself. Bring me some juicy rumors, won't you? And maybe talk with my neighbors. We could use a few coins or someone with a steady hand. Thank you for your time. Yeah, I just feel like it goes nowhere. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do to make her trust me, besides literally just spy on other villages, but I already have so much information. She did want me to talk to the druids. This time, the tall druid gives you an encouraging nod. Even though he remains on a bench, he's huge. He would do well as a guard at a city alehouse. I walk further south to the spot where the new building is being built. You approach the building site. The stone foundations are finished, and the timber frame is jointed together with a set of intriguing cuts like a large toy. One day, their walls will be whitewashed with limestone and turned into a prestigious shelter, unlike the houses made of logs and boards. The other buildings are surrounded by grass, flowers, and herbs. The turmoil of village life is drowned out by the sound of the creek, but the knocking of a hammer shatters this tranquility. The builders give you curious looks from above the log they're cutting. I swear, all this reading wears up my throat so fast. I walk past them and head to the druids. You're welcomed by 8 elders gathered in a semicircle, watching your steps closely. They're not as large as the workers, and their clothes are far from humble. Instead of hemp pants or tunics, they wear colorful robes and dresses made of wool. They vary in style, length, and embellishment, separating them from the outfits of monks. You spot belts and cords, sandals and closed shoes. One person is bald. One has silver hair long enough to cover her back like a cape. Most of the druids are clean and rested, though one is a bit of a sloven, with uncombed hair, stained clothes, and dusty feet. Also, unlike priests of Havlaven, their hands are marked by scars, hard skin, old burns, and missing fingers. Still in silence, a woman with a staff steps forward. I take a closer look at her. Her gray robe is decorated with a brown thread that portrays leaves, tree branches, and birds. She's over 50, but the youngest one of them all. Her back is straight, the gray hair only an inch long. She doesn't need a walking stick. Her weapon is smooth, longer than she is tall. Her blue eyes are vigilant and keenly observe your face, as if in search of venom in your nose and lips. Her lips are thin and small, formed into an austere, line that shakes slightly, as if she's on the brink of a burst of anger. She says nothing. Wow. Yeah, I assume that's not going to go over well. Let's just be friendly. I'm honored to meet you. She closes her eyes and tilts her head to the left. You listen to the creak, the hammer, and to your own breath. Honored? Pleased? Or maybe curious? Her words are slow and soft, as if she's tasting them. It was just a figure of speech. What was that? Whispers another druid, maybe from outrage or maybe from old age. The woman answers before anyone has a chance to repeat your words. I'm well aware. That's what makes words limiting. We try to cross the frozen lakes in boots that are not our own, on trails that are familiar yet stupid. We put hope in these old incantations to avoid being asked for our truth. The woman opens her eyes, as cold as ice. You do not know our ways. You bring to us only what you understand and what you fear. Speak your matter, but be careful. Thais thinks you should know about the plague that has fallen upon Old Pagos. You tell her what you've learned at the village gates, making her lean on her staff, touching it with her cheek. We cannot help with this tragedy. The people of Old Pagos are not our friends, and we will not risk our lives for theirs. She turns toward the rest of her gathering. After their nods, she takes a deep breath. After she speaks, she looks at the ground. Travel south, to the great healer who lives in a cave beyond the Beholder, the spirit that guides us through the swamps. Only he may find a way. I try to hide my annoyance. These druids are both selfish and useless. Thanks. I'll see what he has to say. Why do you speak for the entire group? She steps away, tilting her staff toward the other druids, who look at you gently. There's not a master among us. I've answers for our neighbors, and I know how to guide them, that's all. For now, I'm trusted, but I'm not above anyone else, and I take upon myself the burdens of daily life from the shoulders of the elders. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. One day, my soul will get cloudier, or ever lost in madness, like my mother's before me. Then my lips will be sealed, and a better shell will take my place. You can't tell if her eyes show sadness or relief. Tell me about your faith. She tilts her head to the right and looks directly into your eyes. What do you want to know? Well, many rumors. There are many rumors surrounding druids. Some of them portray you as rather cruel. No one ought to seek wisdom in every mouth they see. Her thin lips form a smirk, but her voice gets stronger. The butchers of the Unites are driven by fear, afraid to admit their old malice, to give up on their dreams of power, of comfort. They make us the monsters of their tales, for they want their people to look away as they hunt us. We're a mirror of their weakness, the sun to their shadow, with a proof that they do not have to rule. Am I listening to you? Are you listening to me? I'd like to hear your teachings. Give away what you can, take only what you need. From your soul, from the soil, from the fellowship of humans. You'll leave behind only ashes. Accept it and grow in peace. I'm doing alright. How are you? She ends with a kind smile. If you think 'tis not much, you're right. If you think any soul has enough years to follow this path fully, your soul is already beset by thorns. I see. She observes you in silence. What does it mean to be a druid? To be worthy of trust, our elders have to trust that we'll master our shells under their guidance, and use them to strengthen all of us. Our neighbors have to trust that we're worthy of their food, even if we do not work with our hands. The creatures need to trust that we deserve to enter their woods. Sure, you can ask me something. She observes you for a bit, and her fingers tap on her staff. This trust would never be put in an outsider. Wright's followers have their tablets. How about you? For a moment, you think she's not sure how to answer, but you then realize that she's humming to herself silently. She raises her hand and gestures for you to look around. The world of our ancestors was not the same as the one you see. They had their truth. We have ours. Stories come from humans. The animals think nothing of them, yet prosper. How do you feel about other religions? We do not have to feel about them. If they let us live, we will not strike first. A preacher was here once, when I was but a teen. Her eyes get a bit more cloudy. I see that one could take the tablets and grow upon them, but the right burns the freedom of others, and their followers build their gray, dead temples from the skulls of those who do not listen. We require trust, not slavery. Have you ever met a Asterian? Nay. Seeing that you wait for a more detailed answer, she taps her fingers on her staff. We had no reason to talk with him. Thais hopes to start negotiations with the Merchant Guild. What are your thoughts? She looks toward your axe and clamps her hand over her staff with new strength. We are not ones to tell our village how to act, or how to think. If they decide to follow their mare, we'll follow. She lowers her voice, and her gaze is like a storm. When a bear enters your house, you do not scream at it, nor hold the door for it to leave. You wait, or throw it a fish. But if it heads to the bed of your child, you jump on its back, even if all you have are your teeth. For a single heartbeat, you see a red line in her eye. Alright, fair enough. I don't know, I just let it grow. I haven't trimmed it up in a while. It's just, it's a fluffy beard. I don't know. What's your stance on necromancy? She grabs her staff with both hands. The Awoken spit onto the order of things, on time and nature. When held by human spells, they only grow, waiting for the pneuma of corruption to cover their bones. Their will is simple, and will never be forgotten. They will hunt for those we care for, and they will drink their blood. Her face hides any emotion, her voice is monotonous, but her fingers are getting pale. The curse of necromancy does not enter our gathering. I mean, I don't care. I like my beard. It does get in the way, but it's warm. Alright, we don't need a healer right now. I guess farewell. Can we make it the Elder? Oh yeah, it's really quick. Okay, let's go to the healer. The family of deer you met some days ago has returned to the pond, this time accompanied by more members of their pack. One buck towers over all the others, with antlers as large as your palfrey. It takes a few steps towards you, shaking its head. You better stay where you are. You observe their curious, lazy glances. Oh, yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own opinions. Why would I feel sad about it? You observe their curious, lazy glances. While the adults quench their thirst, the young ones are playing in the tall grasses or basking in the middle of the road. It takes quite a few minutes before the large beast orders the others to head back into the woods. Its bellows like a falling boulder. I wait for a few minutes patiently. A flock of colorful birds is circling in the sky. The old druid is resting on the bench and welcomes you with a new interest in his voice. Words of the help you've shown to my neighbors from Hallersdale have reached me, traveler. Good. Very good. I mean, I don't actually know what genre I would call it. It's kind of like a choose your adventure. I mean, I don't know if you've seen like the old school choose your adventure books, like, you know, you start at page 1 and then it goes through the story. If you do this, go to this page. It's pretty much all pictures and text, and there is some choices that end up being random rolls, so I don't know exactly out of what it rolls. It just says it's a random chance, so there's some randomness in it whether you actually succeed certain things or not, but otherwise it's basically just a choose your own adventure game. You know, narrative driven, obviously not a lot of gameplay, it's just point and click, but a flock of colorful birds is circling in the sky. The old druid is resting on the bench and welcomes you with a new interest in his voice. Words of the help you've shown to my neighbors from Hallersdale have reached me, traveler. Good. Very good. I'm always ready to do the right thing. He vaguely grunts. I bring news from old Pagos. A terrible plague has fallen upon it. His eyes widen. What did you say? A plague? Sure. You tell him everything you've heard about the symptoms. He attentively observes your lips and sometimes asks you to clarify some details, though you usually don't know how to answer him. He finally nods, then turns away and approaches the garden beds, lost in his thoughts. You wait in silence. He speaks after a short break. There's nothing I can do. His words are trembling. Is there anything I can do? He strokes his beard and examines your equipment. There may be. You can help me cast a spell of great power, but it will take much. You would not dare, and you'd have to give up a grand reward. 'Tis a quest for a hero, not a messenger, and there are no heroes. I don't know. That's just how I was born, I guess. You underestimate me. I'll show you what I'm made of. Before you finish, he turns away from you and looks at the falling water. Then listen. Help me awaken Beholder, the good totem from the swamp. We've already passed its altar in the crossroads, north from here. It needs to be fed, and it only feeds on spirits. The Numa held in human blood, the magic locked in items. Offer them, and it will answer your call. But 'tis a hungry being, and it will not be nurtured by a single gift. Who knows how much it wants? He carries on without pausing, as if he's speaking from memory. But let it grow, and it will reward you. Take its holy seed, and bring it back to me. I'll enter the village, and through the totem's power, I'll replenish my strength and keep the Numa before it leaves the lungs of humans. He stands in the same spot for a few breaths, then finally looks back at you. I mean, I guess I don't really use social media all that much. So I need to offer magic to the altar. What must we do next? When you deliver the seed to me, we'll leave, though we'll need time to get to Old Pagos and back. 'Tis a long road for a shell of my years, but the totem's gift will keep me strong. On occasion, yeah. Tell me more about this seed. His voice becomes confident and solemn. Beholder bears but one fruit a year, and only if its hunger is satisfied. The heart of this fruit, its seed, holds a great power of youth, strength, and magic. Therefore, when the winter ends, the people of Hallersdale gather at its feet and give away the Numa held in their blood and possessions. 'Tis a sacrifice that would kill a single soul, but when shared by many, 'tis but a sign of acceptance, an act of overcoming pain. I usually don't give that out. Just because it is a little bit more personal. I don't really use it to communicate with anyone but my close friends. Sorry. Do you have anything I could give to the altar? He reaches into a pouch that was previously hanging from his neck. I do not know you, and I cannot trust you. But if 'tis this or the death of dozens of souls, I have no choice. Here. As he reaches out, you see a flat, bluish pebble lying on his open palm. You could go to any stream and find hundreds of rocks like this one. 'Tis a gift I received a few years back, a rock filled with Numa by Eudosha, the enchantress. Once put in one's mouth, it brings back the strength of one's exhausted Numa, or kills you if you're not a spellcaster. Put it on the altar, and it will help you feed it. I mean, like, real life friends. Sorry. Maybe it's time to ask the druids from the village to help me. I'm sure they could spare some of their Numa. He puts his hands on his sides and looks at the clouds above him. If they were willing to help you, they would not send you here, at least not all by yourself. They stare into the promises of power and the fears that such promises bring. For them, losing Numa is a risk. You must understand that Old Pagos is not a friend of theirs, as it bows to the right, the creatures that lapse when we wither. Many people would not spare a tear for this place, and would much prefer it turn into a house for boars and rooks. Sorry. Fine, I know everything I need. If you say so, traveler, if you say so. Have any hunters from creeks visited you recently? Here, in the opposite corner of the peninsula, most people do not have a beast to carry them for miles, stranger. His playful tone suddenly gets worried. Or did their struggles with meat get so grim that they ever consider such dangerous trips? He takes a deep breath and leans back. I cannot force beasts to jump upon one's blade. The forest would not trust me anymore. Eudosha, the enchantress, has asked me to place these bronze rods in high spots across the peninsula. I should be done in about half an hour. He takes and observes the rod for a moment, then closes his eyes and bites it gently. When he returns it, he seems unconvinced. I sense a spirit in it, but I'm not one who can tell who's behind it. How can I be sure? You explain what you know about the nature of the rods, but he changes the topic to Eudosha herself. Another minute passes by before he accepts that you indeed know her. Fine, I'll ask for her story next time I see her. Go, but away from the spring. Don't break your neck. Even a child could get to the higher parts of such a rugged cliff, though you have no reason to expect all the loose rocks to be cleared. I take off my armor and put away my weapons and bags. Can I say something? What do you want me to say? The bronze rod is attached to your back by a cord. As you place your feet and hands on the rocks, you realize that you have to move slowly, maintaining your balance, pushing away small and large pebbles, making sure that the wall doesn't collapse under your feet. The rocks are coarse, supporting your grasp, and you rarely find a sharp spot. The climb resembles a nice summer walk, though your muscles are not prepared for such movements. You find the perfect spot, a small crack between two massive rocks. Use the rod to broaden it just a bit, then push it halfway in and fill the gaps with a rag. Doing it with one hand makes you dizzy, but not for long. I take a short break to catch a second breath. Climbing down is easier, though you struggle to recall exactly where you had previously placed your limbs. The warm sun eases your tension. After a few minutes, you land on the soft grass and dust off your hands. Once again, you prepare your equipment. The druid gives the shiny rod a pouty look. What do you mean upgrade my Twitch channel? I don't know what you mean by upgrade. You mean like what do they call it? Before partner? I don't have enough viewers, I think, to actually do that. I wonder why you don't wear robes like the druids from Hallersdale. I wear what I need, and therefore what is needed of me. He speaks with pride. My ancestors knew such path leads to freedom. Knee empty gestures, but honesty, gratitude, and tranquility. He looks toward the north. Those left in the village are putting their hands into matters that fit the empty-hearted. Their petty clothes are but a costume, and better than a dress of a merchant or a pretty rock thrown into a lake. I'm alright, thank you. Alright, so how much time do we have? 4 hours. Do I have enough gold. We're gonna go like stay at the Pelt of the North. Feels like wasting some time, but I guess we can go to the ruins first and explore some more on the way to the Pelt of the North. Oh, yeah, we should set up the fish trap. Okay, 3 hours. And then, so 45 minutes, 45 minutes. So we can go, let's quick save, make sure I don't run out of time. We'll quick save, go to the Beholder, drop off the stone, and then head to the Pelt of the North. Should be fine, I think. Just barely, but yeah. You reach the crossroads. The tree is perfectly still and hasn't changed a bit since the first time you saw it. A large black and green bird is sitting on the altar. When you get close, it spreads its wings and flies away. Hi, how's it going? Thanks for the follow. I approach the altar. The cream-colored limestone is cold and smooth. The tree is perfectly still and hasn't changed a bit since the first time you saw it. I make an offering. What's it called? It's just a spirit rock, yeah. Okay, so spirit rock. As soon as you lay it on the stone slab, the pebble hisses for less than a single breath and shatters into dozens of tiny rocks, not much larger than grains of sand. The tree greets your offering with the sound of moving, stretching branches. Alright, I guess we're done. I walk away. And now we go to the Pelt of the North. The lights are promising a refuge. The guards have bows and spears in their hand, and some rush to the gate, only to close it again right after you ride inside. Bored with life, Roadwarden? One of them grumbles. Hadn't you noticed it's almost dark? I get off my horse and enter the inn. The windows are open, and while there's a few guards eating and drinking, the hall is clean. The innkeeper is leaning on the counter, dividing a small pile of dragon bones. The scavenger is leaning against the wall with arms crossed, though he nods toward you when you enter. I'm surprised he's still here. It's been a couple days. I thought he was leaving. I mean, I'm alright. I appreciate it, but I'm good, thank you. Go to the innkeeper. About Glacier's band. He freezes, observing your hands silently. Thais has sent me to other villages. The bandits are focused on White Marshes, so she's not interested in your deal. Without a word, he puts your payment on the counter, then glances at your nose. I appreciate that you've been so thorough. You've already done more than I've asked for. I still have the crossbow to sell, so let's say we'll lower its price, just for you. Keep up the good work. He walks toward the window, opens it, and looks outside. I was afraid it might be like that. Times will get rough, yet there may never be a threat large enough to unite this bunch of anarchists. He rests his hand on the windowsill. I have another job, if you're interested. I'll pay you 10 coins for finding out what Glacia really wants. Ideally, not by direct question, but if there's no other way, he shrugs. He turns back to you, and for a few words, looks into your eyes. And better act before she marks you as her next prey, being a lonely traveler and all. Work with me, and I'll do my best to keep you safe if you ever decide to hide behind our walls. Let's say I find her. Any tips on how I can get on her good side? I just think it's a personal thing, so I don't know. I don't want someone else's input, and I appreciate it, but I don't feel like I need it, and I don't know. I just don't share that side, I guess. Assuming she has one, I only have one tip for you. If she sees that you can be broken, she won't hesitate to make it happen. Alright, any leftovers? Not today, no, maybe tomorrow. Okay. Oh, sleep for the night. Sleep in a room. A comfy bed with a clean blanket in an isolated chamber. I know, I just don't, I mean, it's my channel, so I pretty much just deal with it myself. When I want to do changes, I don't know, I've had it for a while, I just like them the way they are. The shivers wake you up, you hear the hunters leaving the building. You look through the window, but the fog is so dense you hardly see the wall around you. Still, they are being patrolled by the night shift, which places torches and carries lanterns. I stay inside, hoping there are no curses carried by the fog. The small room is quiet and far away from unwanted eyes. You take a calm bath, rest on the soft mattress, look through the window, and enjoy the minutes of safety. In the morning, you find a stool with a large wooden plate bearing an aromatic breakfast. Fried, breaded mushrooms with gravy and chamomile tisane. Downstairs, the innkeeper is putting firewood into the stove. He asks if you need anything. We do not. That's all I need. I go outside. I wonder where the armor went. I feel like I don't see him around much. Maybe he's only there during the day. Alright, let's go see Eudosha and see if we can get more Pneuma stones. The meadow is so quiet it makes you slow down. You touch the cold shell. The monster's eyes glow red. Go inside. I'll be with you soon. I enter the yard. Eudosha closes the door behind you. You're back. I spoke with the monks. They're quite afraid of you. Are they now? She meets your eyes. What do they tell you? As you recollect your memories, she patiently listens to your tale, staring into the distance with her arms crossed. So that's how they see me now. A beast spending every breath to hurt them. Yet they still ask me to put spells in their tools. She remains still, moving only her lips. drawling out every word. All it took was for me to move on, to leave them behind. They call themselves pacifists. Unlike bloodshedding unites, they say, yet force my tribe to work for them, from their birth to the pyre. It's the same sickness of the soul, believing that ye see the truth, that all other souls are blind. When she realizes that her voice is getting close to a shout, she falls silent. Let's see. I want to collect my reward for the bronze rods, because I think I do have 4 now. Yudosha wipes her hands on her robe, puts one into her pocket, and waits for you to describe the locations where you've placed the rods. She asks you for a few details, then thinks aloud. Let's see, 4 rods in total. So that would be... Here you go. I pull out my pouch. Great, great. Keep it up. Let's see. Let's trade. So Spirit Rock costs 9. Okay. Could you fill an item of mine with Numa? That's not how this works. She points at her golems. Her nails are short and clean, and her hands are soft. I work all the time, but each item takes me days, sometimes a full season. The tribes bring me things to enchant in the early spring and collect them a year later. I've got to... She blinks a few times, not sure what to say. Her gray eyes widen. Imagine stuff. It takes great focus. You mentioned that you generously reward her, but she only shrugs. You don't plant, you don't build. I won't eat dragon bones. For now, do your warden duties and come by at the end of autumn. Maybe I'll have time to get something done for you after the thaws. What if I'm in desperate need? She rolls her eyes. Ye ain't everyone else. Let's talk about clearing the roads. Oh, that's right. She needs a whole bunch of food rations. I'll think about it. So... I don't even know how many spirit rocks this is going to take. And I don't know if I can get more than one from her anyway, without just needing to do something else. So... where is... trying to find the one. So the village up north, Gale Rocks. That fisherman wants me to get a spirit rock for his daughter, but I just don't think she can actually use Numa, so it's more likely to kill her, which just, I don't know why he'd want that to happen. But I don't even see that here's quests. Oh, this is probably it. There it is. Yeah, see, even Yudosha says her spirit rocks won't help. So, I guess I could get one and head up there and see if it will work. Just to complete the quest. Maybe I need to talk to him. I'll get it and talk to him. Can I buy... Yeah, so I could buy another one, but I don't want to go back down to, like, 0 gold. So. Alright. Now, how much time do I have left? 11 hours. So we'll go up to Creeks first. We're looking for Ela. He's in the middle of his break, leaning against the top of his working bench. He waves to you with a chisel. Hi there, friend. I see you've taken a liking to our village. Let's see if I can get him to trust me a little bit more. About the eastern path. I got rid of a small pack of dusk foxes that lived in the ruined shelter in the west. Dusk foxes? After he meets your silence, he carries on. I don't know what that is. You describe their looks and the threat they present as Ela observes the clouds, sometimes asking you to explain more. He finally taps his stomach. Well, better than a tribe of goblins. And what about the ruins? Is the wood standing strong? He thinks about your brief tale and looks inside his wooden case. I admit, restoring this place right away would be a waste of time and effort. We may need your help with it, but maybe next spring, or even the one after that. I'll give you 1 dragon for the news, and another 2 for handling the foxes. Fair. Well, friend, thanks to your tales, the hunters and foragers feel more confident about the meadows from here to Foggy's, and even beyond. When you have a day to spare, come here any morning. Ask our tribesfolk about a job for a Roadwarden, unless it rains. You'll get 2 dragons and enough stew to fill your belly for a day of patrolling the roads and assisting us in our wagons. So the things you are meant to do anyway, aye? Maybe, maybe. Just remember to come with a healthy shell. It won't be a stroll. Okay, so these are the other things I need to do for the Eastern Road. So the bugs. Okay, so patrols. And we can't do the tree yet. I have to get here earlier. I'll let you know if there's anything else. I want you to discuss the issues of the Enchantress's rod with the village. You should know by now I can be trusted. He takes the rod and smiles. There's no need. I already know what they'll say. My tribe calls you a fair soul. We'll put it at the watchtower. There aren't that many birds that would steal something of this size. Okay. So we got that solved. Guess I'll see you later. Okay. Let's go to Gale Rocks. It's a quick trip now that I have the tunnel opened up. The workers are now resting, preparing themselves for the arrival of the fishers, while the younger locals still have to move wares and tools between the buildings. Wherever there's a table or a bench, there are people feasting on roasted fish and fresh fruits, and the smell of herbs burns your nostrils. The youngsters are focused on their play, overseen by the elders, but even they seem to have little energy left. The laziness covers everyone like a fresh blanket. Some of the locals slow down to observe you, but whenever you meet their eyes, you find a challenge, not amity. So we want to go to... Oh, you know what? Yeah, they're already at the pier. Alright. Let's quick save. Approach the pier. Into the fishers. Bodios inspects the equipment and discusses future plans with the workers on the coast. About the Spirit Rock. You've got it? Have you asked any herbalists, though? Maybe a priest or another enchanter. Have you heard about the previous Roadwarden, Asterion? You nod. In spring, I sent him to one of the greatest mages in the peninsula. Some druid, I think. And that old prick told me there was nothing he could do. You hear that? And I had paid the messenger to learn this. He squeezes his cloak even tighter to his side. We have no herbalists here. But since the Spirit Rocks are safe, I'd rather spend my last coins for such a chance than try nothing and regret it. I think what you're asking for may be risky. Why would it be? No one has ever been hurt by the previous stones. Eudosha herself told me the stone will likely kill any shell that can't hold the stone's pneuma. His face turns pale. She said this? After he clears his throat, he squeezes the monstrous beak on his chest, and his courage returns. Then you've spoken with her, and you know she's crazy. Instead of chatting with people, just bring me what I'm paying you for. Ailey, the voice of the monastery, says that you need to forget the tales about being soulless. Not casting spells doesn't make someone a lesser human. Wright's tablets are clear on that. How does he... He suddenly scowls at you. Fine. If the monks say the rite says so, I'll believe it. But wouldn't you try to heal a cut arm or a broken back? Even if her soul is, well, in her, it's going to struggle. I don't know how to convince you, but you're asking me to do something really risky. The deal is off. Don't you dare to tell me how to raise my child, you drifting piece of shit. He tries to hit your chest with an open palm, but you dash back quickly, with your instincts already moving your hand toward your blade. Surprised, he looks you in the eyes with anger. As useless as the previous one, that's why I don't pay any vagabond up front. A man with a thick beard approaches the two of you, more to make sure his friend is safe than to ease the tensions. After a few more breaths, Photios scratches his neck and bites his upper lip. What else do you want, outsider? Alright, dude. I'm trying to make sure your daughter doesn't die, but sure, whatever. Alright, how much time we have? 5 hours. Well, I don't want to go too far away. We should probably stay at Foggy. It's going to be the closest to the creeks, so we can help them in the morning. But it's really early to go there now. Let's go... I don't think we've actually stopped at the Northern Road in a while, because that's where we met Ephron, the hunter of creeks. A stout brown beaver clumsily carries a pile of twigs in its front paws. Noticing your arrival, it lets out a terrified whine and disappears in the lake. It left one of the six behind it. The howlers gather around as you approach their tree. The smallest of them are hanging from the branches, while a few larger ones get on the ground, observing you from the tall grasses. Ooh. Quick save. The monkeys may try to attack me, so I grab the rawhide quickly and flee. You stretch out your legs and dash ahead. At first the monkeys move away with a few unconvinced yells, but then those from above start to howl, even deeper than before. And you feel as if your guts are starting to move, hitting against each other. You get dizzy, and soon the pain enters your skull as if you're getting hit by a smith's hammer, time and time again. Yet you manage to stay calm, focused on your goal. Larger creatures try to cut your path, but being on the ground, they can't keep up with your legs. Without stopping, you grab the rawhide, then carry on, waiting for a few heartbeats before you change direction rapidly, now getting closer to Haas. By the time you reach the saddle, the beasts have already abandoned their pursuit. You take a few deep breaths, then inspect the rawhide. The wet, torn blanket is now worth as much as a bread crust. Still, it's not rotten. If the owner's around, they may recognize it. Oh, well. I try to scare... I've already dealt with them, but... I try to scare the howlers away. You're yards away from the closest tree. The howlers are climbing, swinging, browsing the leaves, and seeing bugs in the meadow. Only a few of them pay attention to you. You could start with an attack from a distance, but there's no way for you to take down an entire pack. The best you can hope for is scaring them off. Forget it. Travel. To Foggy Lake. Wait, how much time? Yeah, oh well, we'll be early, but there's not really much else I can do, so... Foggy Lake. Alright, once you get on the ground, Elon points at the old rawhide you're carrying by your side. Looking for a blanket, friend? You'll find one clean and all in creeks. This one will get smelly soon. Oh, I thought maybe he knew whose it was. Sleep. Right, and it gets me hungry. Yep. For 1 coin, right. I'd like to eat. She stretches out her arm and grabs a bowl. Give me a moment. You sit down at the clear table. After a moment, the keeper brings you a nettle tisane and a simple root stew with plenty of meat in it. Once you're done, Foggy packs leftovers for you as a snack for the rest of the day and mentions that you've already paid for another 0 meals. Alright, well, I can't remember what else she had for sale. Just meals and scraps, okay. So, the next job. Still interested? I have a message to Iesan, the innkeeper of Pelt of the North. Yeah, I know where it is. His place is in the far south. Huge bother for us to get there. A bother worth, let's say, 3 dragons. She sits down on a stool and looks you in the eyes. The scars and wrinkles on her thoughtful face could belong to a statue. Tell him, are we still trading? I'm running out of patience. Remember it well, aye? Bring me the answer. Only then you'll get paid. I probably do actually have to remember that. I'll probably have to write it out. Let's see. Are we still trading? I'm running out of patience. Better safe than sorry. It may be better for you to tell me what this is all about. She frowns. I don't ask you to negotiate in my name, though I guess it won't hurt to tell you. Yazen and I were thinking about working together. He'd invest in my place and would get his share of profits in the future, and a shelter for his hunters. He was meant to send me the first batch of dragons, but has fallen silent. I want to know where we stand. Okay, I'll do it. She just nods. Alright, time for me to go. Let's go up to Creeks. While you cross the bridge, you pass the same group that you saw on the first day you arrived at this place, once again gathered at the creek and scantily clad. Their smiles are inviting, and after you look at them, one of the women invites you with a hand wave. I have a day to spare. I ask around to see if any locals need protection on the roads. Oh, I don't even know how much vitality or like cleanliness it's going to take. The villagers need to deliver a few barrels to Foggy and stay around for a few hours to set up traps and repair a collapsed part of the palisade. This task will take you an entire day and make it dangerous. Alright. We're only getting 2 dragons for it. I guess we're getting fed, so. For most of the time, you stay safe. But at one point, you find yourself evading a pack of predators and your clothes are now soaked in sweat. Thankfully, your armor was able to keep you in one piece. Oh, okay. We can still go to the creek. They're still there. With the calming sounds of the waterfall around you, you observe the stream, as clean as a spring. The oakish soap... Okay, well... I'm pretty sure my clothes need washing. It just told me they need washing. I jump into the stream. There are no fish... Yeah, okay, that cleaned me out. There are no fish or plants to bother with, and your feet find mud among the not always smooth pebbles. The water reaches above your waist, allowing you to have some fun and wash every spot of your shell. Thanks to the gentle flow, you are able to remove the mud stains from your clothes and boots. Alright. Well, let's go talk to Ela. He's preparing the planks for a simple tablecloth. He waves to you with a chisel. Okay. Okay, so we need to take the journey to the fallen tree. Literally tomorrow. The locals won't need my services before day 18. I assume that's tomorrow in game. Alright, travel. Wait, how much time do we have? 4 hours, 15 minutes? It's 45 minutes to Foggy. See, if I go there and I spend basically more than 45 minutes, I won't be able to make it back. So maybe that's another day. The time management's kind of difficult, actually. It does get kind of rough. We're gonna quick save again. We're gonna travel to the foraging grounds. See if we can find anything. Yeah, so it doesn't tell you how long it's going to take, and we need 45 minutes to get back to Foggy Lake. So I guess as long as it takes 2 hours or less, we'll be fine. The time goes by as you roam about until you stumble upon a bush full of juicy berries hidden behind a boulder. Together with a couple of wild carrots and an onion, you'll have more than enough to fill your belly. You grow familiar with the valley, but you don't think it hides much more food. Alright, well, that's that, I guess. Back to Foggy Lake. Alright, and we're gonna sleep here again. I don't want to lose the vitality. It's worth the coin. Rent. Alright. Time for me to go. Travel to Creeks. Okay, what day is it? I can't remember. Is it here? Oh, that's interesting. So when you sleep, even though I can't utilize Pneuma because I'm not a mage, it actually gives you, like, it tells you that you're getting Pneuma. Yeah, where does it say what day it is? Oh wow, your lies stack up. Interesting. Well, that's a bummer. I don't know what day it is. Maybe it says on the save. It might say on the save. Or does it say here? No, day 17. Okay, so we basically gotta mess around for a day before we can actually help them. Well, let's go down to Pelt of the North. We'll give him that message. And I think we'll literally call it a day. The yard is stained with coughed up blood, the trail leading into the building. The hunters are tense with weapons at hand, looking at you as if you're bringing them answers. You're approached by Dalit. You heard? The lieutenant from Hag Hills fled from our camp. She would be dead without our potions. What happened? A troll. There's a hint of shame in her voice. She says she stopped it, but not before it tore the other soldier to pieces. Better speak with her. Wow, this just got serious. The innkeeper greets you with a nod, then his eyes lead you to the bench in the corner. Tulia is sitting with her head resting against the wall, breathing heavily, with clean bandages on her neck, arm, and leg. Next to her are 3 small bottles, all of them open, but your nose catches no scent of ale. Her gambeson is on the floor, now more of a rag than armor. As you sit down next to her on a stool, she opens one eye, then another. Her smile's empty. Tell me about the attack. There isn't much to say. It came in the early hours. We threw and shot anything we could at it. After it broke through the gate, I had one last arrow left. My subordinate, her voice is bitter, gave me time to aim, and now he's gone. Did you manage to burn the other soldier? The sorrow in her eyes makes the shake of her head redundant. It seems kind of rude to ask about that, but... Summer's almost over. We should soon travel back to the city. She shrugs. Well, if any city rat is going to criticize me for getting out of here before the end of my watch, they can jump into the sea, for all I care. I can head back whenever. Oh wow, this is just literally like endgame. You can just leave. Do you still have my reward, or is it back at the camp? After a brief scowl, she looks down and shakes her head, snickering weakly. I knew you would ask me that. Yeah, it's all there. I took everything of value with me. Okay. I found this wax tablet. Do you recognize it? She opens it and takes a quick glance. Well, it's from Hovleven. Astarion and my lieutenant were the only people I've seen with green tablets like this one, and the locals don't write chronicles. She gives it back. I can't read. Better look for a priest of the right. Good call. Okay, well, that sucks. So I'm wondering if the trolls... She said she took it down, but I probably have to go burn the other soldier. I go to the innkeeper. So, you again. Need anything? Foggy has a message for you. Actually, any leftovers? Yep, you're lucky. I was planning to give it to the boar. He goes to the stove and in a couple of minutes prepares you a meal. Here, you see boar offals, a couple of carrots, and a refreshing cold cup of water. Foggy has a message for you. The innkeeper listens to Foggy's words patiently, then crosses his arms and leans back, lost in his thoughts. Seems like she won't be played so easily. After you mention the answer, he tells you to relax. You'll have it soon. See, I've lost her for a share. Astarion was meant to deliver it to her. Never happened. I don't want to waste more, but she doesn't need to know it. He raises a bowl that sits nearby and reveals a few dragon bones. He counts off 5 of them. Tell her this. Astarion lost your coin. I'm now in debt. Let's be partners for now. I'll send you more once I have it, but I don't promise anything. He pushes the coins towards you, observing them like a hawk. They are yours. Just help me keep the charade going, now and later. It's important to me. Oh, why? Why is he doing this? I have to think about this one. I think I'm actually going to save there and come back to it. Why does everyone want me to, like, screw over everyone else now, all of a sudden? Alright. Well, thanks for hanging out and watching. Thanks for the follows. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully on time. And I was a few minutes late today. I had some extra work to do, but we'll be back at 5 p.m. Central, and I honestly don't know where it's going to go. I need to deal with the tree, and I need to try to deal... I don't know how many spirit stones I need, but I need a whole bunch more coin if we're going to save Old Pagos. But anyway, thanks for hanging out, and we will see you tomorrow.